Welcome back to the deep dive. If you're here, you want to get straight to the fascinating stuff, and today we've got something really cool.
We do. We're looking at animal intelligence. We've got this list, this compilation, covering all sorts of creatures.
Yeah, from primates, our close cousins, all the way to invertebrates that honestly might surprise you quite a bit. So our mission today is simple. Dig into this list and pull out the most, astonishing facts, the real insights into how these animals think.
Exactly. And it's a great chance to maybe challenge some of our own ideas about what intelligence even is. We tend to see it through a very human lens.
Right. But this list shows such a diversity of minds out there.
It really does. Different ways of thinking, solving problems specific to their world.
Okay, let's jump right in. Chimpanzees. We know they're smart, obviously, but this list, it really highlights some next-level abilities.
Yeah, beyond just, using a stick to get termites, which is already clever.
This mentions using tools in social displays. So what's going on there? Why is that important?
Well, it suggests they understand how to influence others, right, within their group. It's not just about food or survival.
It's about social maneuvering.
Exactly. Status, manipulation, maybe even deception. It points to a pretty complex social awareness, strategic thinking.
And here's something that really caught my eye. Learning symbols, understanding parts of human language, not just sounds, but like relational syntax. What even is that?
Relational syntax, yeah. It means they grasp how the order of words changes the meaning. Like dog bites man versus man bites dog.
Okay, got it. So they understand relationships between concepts, not just the words themselves.
Precisely. And number concepts, too. It's way beyond simple mimicry. It shows deeper processing.
And get this, the list mentions spontaneous future planning. Spontaneous! That sounds huge for a non-human primate.
It is huge. That kind of planning, thinking ahead, and acting now for a future goal, that's a big indicator of higher cognitive function, mentally picturing the future. It's a complex leap.
Wow. Okay. Let's shift to elephants, another big brain, famous for memory. The list confirms the incredible memory. No surprise there.
Right, that's almost legendary.
But this mirror self-recognition thing, why is that such a benchmark?
The mirror test. It's fascinating because so few animals pass it. Elephants do. It strongly suggests they have a sense of self.
Like they know that's them in the mirror, not another elephant.
Exactly. A sense of being distinct from others. That's a cornerstone of self-awareness.
And their tool use. Maybe not quite chimp level, the list says, but they do use them.
They do. And there's also that intriguing point about their behavior around death, the apparent rituals, their interest in elephant bones.
Yeah, what do you make of that? What can that signify?
Well, it's still being studied, obviously, but it raises profound questions about their emotional depth, their social bonds.
Could it be something like grief? Or some understanding of mortality?
It's hard not to speculate along those lines, especially given how tightly knit their social groups are. It definitely suggests something deep is going on there.
Okay, let's take a dive into the ocean. Dolphins. Apparently ranked right up there with elephants by some researchers.
Another highly intelligent species.
We know they're playful, great communicators. But how complex is that communication, really?
Oh, it's incredibly complex. They have this huge repertoire of clicks, whistles, body language, likely conveying very specific information.
And the play isn't just for fun.
Probably not just fun. It likely helps them practice vital skills, reinforces social bonds, maybe even communication itself.
And check this out. Tool use in dolphins, using sponges.
Yes, they've been observed, particularly in some populations, tearing off marine sponges.
Putting them over their snouts, their noses.
Exactly, to protect them while they're foraging on the seabed, likely digging for fish.
That is ingenious, adapting something from their environment like that.
It's a fantastic example of problem solving. Maybe not a crafted tool like a chimp might make, but definitely tool use, innovation in their own world.
Okay, back to dry land. Parrots. We know they mimic speech.
Which is impressive enough on its own, biologically speaking.
But African gray parrots. The list says they can actually connect words with meaning, form simple sentences, so it's not just imitation.
That's the key distinction. For some, like the famous Alex and others studied, it seems to go beyond mimicry to actual semantic understanding, using words meaningfully.
And then you have other parrots, like the Kia from New Zealand.
Ah, the Kia. Notorious for their curiosity and puzzle-solving skills. And tool use as well.
So parrots are generally pretty sharp then.
Definitely. They show remarkable learning abilities, problem-solving. Diverse cognitive skills across different species.
Okay, now for an animal I maybe wouldn't immediately think of, sheep. I have to admit, this surprised me.
They often get underestimated, don't they?
But recognizing individual human faces and remembering them for years.
It speaks volumes about their social intelligence. Recognizing individuals, whether sheep or human, is crucial in a social environment.
And differentiating emotional states based on facial cues.
Yeah, picking up on whether a face looks happy or angry, for example. It suggests a level of social perception we don't usually credit them with.
And they can learn their names with patience and their reports of problem solving.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Perhaps we need to look closer.
Yeah, maybe judge intelligence based on their world, not just ours.
Exactly. Appreciating the skills they evolved for their specific lives.
Okay, rats often get a bad rap.
Definitely.
But the list mentions excellent problem-solving skills, which anyone who's tried to keep them out of somewhere might agree with.
Huh? Yes, they are persistent and clever in that way.
But what really stood out was the pro-social stuff, freeing other trapped rats, sharing food.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
It challenges that stereotype of them being purely selfish. It suggests, well, maybe empathy, cooperation. It's quite significant.
Right. Okay, dogs. Had to be on the list. Pack animals understand social structures.
Very much so. Their ability to read social cues, interact within a group, that's key.
And obviously, highly intelligent, relatively easy to train by human standards. Why are they so attuned to us?
Well, thousands of years of domestication is a huge factor. They've literally evolved alongside us.
So their social intelligence, honed in the pack, just transferred well to understanding humans.
It seems that way. They're incredibly good at picking up on our cues, our intentions.
Yeah, for something totally different. Octopus. The list calls them the most intelligent invertebrates.
Which is quite a statement, considering how different they are from us.
Yeah. Their intelligence evolved on a completely separate branch of life. And impressive spatial learning, navigation, clever hunting.
Absolutely. Their ability to solve problems like escaping tangs or opening jars is well documented. They have incredible control over those 8 arms.
But observational learning by watching others is still debated.
It is. Getting conclusive evidence for that in octopuses has been tricky. It remains a really interesting question mark in understanding their minds.
Okay, now, crows. Oh, man.
The corvids. Yeah, they're superstars in animal intelligence research.
This list has some mind-blowing examples. Wild crows in Israel using breadcrumbs as bait to catch fish.
Bait fishing, yes. That's not just finding food. That's using an object and a planned way to get food. That's innovation.
Incredible ingenuity. And it doesn't stop there.
No.
Sports? What does that mean? Advanced tool use. Storing food with episodic-like memory.
Episodic-like memory, yeah. It suggests they remember not just what they hid, but where and maybe even when. Like recalling a specific past event.
Wow. And the New Caledonian crow, they make tools.
They do, famously. They'll take twigs or leaves and modify them, shape them, bend wire in labs to create hooks for getting grubs.
That's manufacturing. That's planning, understanding cause and effect.
It's one of the most compelling examples of complex cognition in a non-primate. Truly remarkable.
And it keeps going. Australian crows figuring out how to eat toxic cane toads safely.
Right, by flipping them over to avoid the poison glands on their backs, learning and passing on that technique.
And recognizing individual human faces. They remember who's friendly and who's not.
Seems so. They can hold grudges, apparently. It shows sophisticated social learning and memory, even across species. Makes you look at the crows on the street a bit differently.
Definitely makes me want to be nicer to them. Okay, last one on this list. Pigeons. Maybe less flashy.
Perhaps, but don't underestimate them.
They can learn complex action sequences, it says, and remember hundreds of individual images for years. That sounds like a photographic memory.
Their visual memory capacity is astounding. It's likely crucial for navigation, finding their way home over vast distances, recognizing landmarks.
So another specialized skill honed by evolution for their specific needs.
Precisely. It highlights again that intelligence isn't just one thing.
Wow. Okay. Stepping back and looking at this whole range. Chimps planning, elephants recognizing themselves, dolphins with sponges, parrots understanding words, sheep reading faces.
Crows making tools, rats being helpful, pigeons with super memories.
It just completely shakes up any simple idea of what intelligence means, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It forces us to move beyond a single ladder with humans at the top.
It's more like a bush, with incredible adaptations branching out everywhere. Who knew sheep were so socially perceptive? or rats capable of altruism.
It really hammers home that intelligence is about solving problems relevant to your life, your environment, your social structure. And there are so many ways to do that.
So considering all these examples, the tool use, the social smarts, the memory, the problem solving, what does intelligence really mean in the animal kingdom?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah, and maybe, how do we need to broaden our own view? Stop just comparing everything to ourselves. It leaves you with a lot to think about.
It really does. Maybe the takeaway is to appreciate the unique genius in each species, understand their cognition on its own terms. By doing that, we get a much richer, more accurate picture of the incredible spectrum of minds on this planet.